everybody, and welcome to the first episode in our series, What to Expect When You're Expecting During COVID-19. I'm your host, Ivy Hartman, and I'll be joined by Dr. Eboni January, who is a board-certified gynecologist and obstetrician, a St. Louis area native, and also an author. Hi, Dr. January.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm pretty good, just taking it day by day, honestly, trying to make sure I'm educating myself and protecting myself while we're out here on the front lines.
So speaking of front lines, tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing since COVID-19 hit the United States, where you've been and what you've seen.
So I travel quite a bit. And so I recently I was in upstate New York. So when things went crazy, I was actually in New York when it all happened. I had been back and forth in New York. My phone started going crazy because a lot of my family members knew I had been back and forth in New York and also Miami. So I do a travel doc essentially, and I do a lot of work in upstate New York.
Well, our goal during this whole series is going to be in many parts, right? And so our goal is to try to answer some of the questions of women who are expecting during this pandemic, help try to provide a little direction and quell all that worry and angst that we all have, but especially if we're expecting this time. So what do we know for sure about COVID-19 that women who are pregnant should be aware of?
So the one thing that we should know is that there has not actually been a ton of cases in pregnant women, just so you know. That doesn't mean that they're not out there, but they have not tested positive. In China, it's been about, I would say, 34 cases of women who have tested positive for COVID-19, none of which have passed away, two who were in critical condition, one which resolved as well. So far, women have done okay, but that doesn't mean a whole lot when we only know of 30 cases.
Yeah. How do you see that unfolding here in the United States?
Well, I think that the one thing that I'll say is that as it pertains to pregnancy, a lot of women do abide by many of the rules. As a gynecologist, there are times when it's kind of difficult for women to come in, but during pregnancy, women come in for their appointments and they really take pregnancy serious, especially because they're carrying another individual. So I'll say that because women do abide by a lot of the rules that, we put in place, they do very well. And I do suspect that women will do very well. No pregnant women that I've come into contact with have taken this lightly. So I applaud women who are out there protecting their youth, their babies and the babies inside of them. So they are taking they're taking these rules to stay at home precautions very, very heavily. And so I appreciate that.
You make a great point. The things that we've been hearing are shelter in place, don't touch your face, wash your hands. But are there particular places that women who are expecting should totally avoid? Or do you see places that are okay for them to be during the shelter in place and trying to social distancing?
So I think that women should definitely continue to take the same precautions as everyone else, especially pregnant women. I don't think that there are any additional precautions that they should take unless they're high risk. And when I say high risk, I mean those women with the same comorbidities that other people will have. So if you have diabetes, hypertension, those kind of deals, or have asthma, women who are more prone to infections, then I do think, or more prone to being sick, I do think that they should take additional precautions, meaning you're probably not the person to go out and get the groceries. Maybe send someone else. But if you're, just a typical pregnant woman, take the same precautions as everyone else, because we don't know how this disease is going to perform in pregnant women. Once again, 30 is not a lot. That's not a lot of cases.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that not having information makes us even more uneasy about things. So our hope is during this series, we're going to explore more of Dr. January's expertise in prevention, healthy lifestyles, exercise, diet, and then we're going to continue to ask some of those really terrifying and worrisome questions that our viewers who are expecting might have. So for our viewers out there, you can find all of our segments here You can also find us on STL TV's YouTube channel and all of our other social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For now, with what to expect when you're expecting during COVID-19, I'm Ivy Hartman, and for Dr. January, we wish you all to be well.